Hello, everybody. Welcome to Little John's Yarns. I'm Alysha. If you're wondering why there's like another split screen over here, I have the most wonderful, talented Sheila Johnson. Wait. Which side is it? Can you do it?
This way.
Nope.
The other hand. The other hand.
You're missing. Yep, you're missing it.
I'm on this side.
There you go.
There it is. Oh my gosh.
What is here today? It is the Crochet Nurse. The topic that we're going to be talking about here today is everything crochet and health related. Let it be weight gain, pain management, stress relation, what type of crochet hook to use. I didn't have all the answers, so of course I'm bringing in a professional over here who knows exactly what you're talking about. So Sheila, how are you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you today, Alysha? It's great to see you. You look fabulous as always.
Well, thank you. You do too. I love your top. Did you make that?
Yes. I made it maybe about a month ago when it started getting too warm. I was watching Canadian Crocheter and she had one. I'm like, I gotta have that. So I made one.
Super cute. I love it. So as usual, before I get started, during any one of my live streams, you can always help donate through Super Chat. By doing that, it helps me continue coming out with videos just like this. You'll see a little, if you're on your desktop, you'll see a little button here that's shaped like a $sign, or on your mobile, you'll see down below shaped like a $sign. Those gadgets behind me might go off. They might not. Who knows when you do donate. But if you do donate, I'm going to give you, let me give you a screen share. Anybody who donates, just for this video only, I'm going to give you my ultimate pattern bundle. Ultimate pattern bundle, which is worth $24.99 to anybody who donates during this live stream. All right. Ooh, I lost Sheila. All right. So everybody, Sheila, what's the temperature at you said North Carolina? South Carolina. What's the temperature down there?
I am in South Carolina and I think it's like 85 today, roughly 85 degrees, but the humidity is through the ceiling. This morning when I went outside to take the dogs out, they didn't even want to go out. Let's just put it that way. Neither one of the dogs wanted to go out. They were like, no, Mom, I'm going to lay on the carpet where it's nice and cool. Could you turn the fan up, please?
Right now in PA, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it is actually 87 degrees. And it's, oh my goodness, I'm already sweating. Oh, don't look at me, guys. Well, the lights work. Who donated? I'm seeing Proverbs 31. Thank you. She's always with us, important. I love you, Little John Yarns. We love you too. Thank you so much. Oh, see, usually this doesn't work. So thank you so much for testing this. In Proverbs, before anything, so you can get your ultimate pattern bundle, you have to email me. There's no way for me to find you. Email me at littlejohnyarns@gmail.com. That link is down in the description box below. So we're just going to hop into this. So I call you the expert. How long have you been a nurse?
Almost 25 years. And so a long time ago when I went into nursing school, my intent was to do cardiac nursing. So when I graduated from nursing school, I went into med surg, and people may or may not understand the terminology. If y'all don't understand some of the terminology I use, just hit it in the comments and I'll elaborate. But I went into med surg and then quickly went into cardiac, which is what I love. And so that was like 25 years ago. And then, as most people know, because I've shared this on my video before, that one of the reasons I no longer work bedside is because I hurt my shoulder, this shoulder. In fact, I was moving with maybe 4 or 5 other folks, about 4 or 5 other aides and nurses. We were moving a patient that weighed roughly 300 to 400 pounds. She's a big lady. Big lady. And she happened to jerk at the last minute and it pulled out my shoulder.
We got a super chat again. Thank you so much. This is from Shorty Red. Make sure you email me at littlejohnsyarn so you can get your pattern. Everybody give Shorty Red a cheers. I'm drinking my wine. You said you got your tea?
Wait. I got my tea.
Okay. You need to fill up your tea because I like to.
I know. I'm noticing. Well, see, I drink a lot of tea. I probably drink way more than I should.
Okay, but back to you hurting your shoulder.
I'm sorry, say again?
You hurt your shoulder when you're lifting?
Correct. So she kind of jerked at the last moment. This is when I was working CCU for cardiac care unit. I was working CCU and she was she was on a ventilator. And so, believe it or not, even on a ventilator, sometimes people can move. And she did, because we didn't have her on enough medication to keep her steady. And so when she moved, it jerked my shoulder out. And I went on physical therapy after that. I still worked. I just couldn't do the bedside. I worked still in the hospital. I went maybe 3 or 4 rounds of physical therapy, and kept going to the orthopod. Orthopod means orthopedic. Going to the orthopod, they were treating with NSAIDs, which are the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. So we were treating with those for several months. And finally, the last time I went back to orthopod, they were concerned that the pain that I was having was going to move from acute to chronic, which absolutely happens with folks. And this is kind of when we move from acute to chronic, it can happen to people because it changes the receptors in the brain and how we respond to pain. And that's what they were concerned was going to happen with me, is that my pain, how I was responding to the pain would change, and I would move into the fibromyalgia arena. And so they were concerned that that was what was going to happen. And so my orthopedic got very aggressive in my treatment. I stepped up physical therapy from twice a week to 4 times a week. I was exercising and doing stretches on my shoulder daily, and which involved doing a lot of passive stretching, which is really important for folks if they're having pain in their arm, shoulder, hand. Passive stretching is really important. But I did a lot of passive stretch and strength training.
Yeah. So how did you get into? So I mean, how are you feeling now? Is it much better or?
Yeah, and so that was roughly 2008-ish when that started happening, and it took several years. It took many months for the pain to stop. And so for folks to understand, that's not uncommon with a shoulder or a hand injury for it to take many months for that to stop or to actually to mitigate, because there's not, because it's something we use every day, right? Mm-hmm. Moving your shoulder every day, moving your hand every day, you're going to have issues to where it's going to take longer for those things to heal. But at this point in my life, because it's been several years, it took, like say, months for the pain to go away. But then it also took many months after that to develop more of my mobility back in this arm. Just to give you context with that as well, now that I'm 12 years out, I know at this stage, because I've already torn this shoulder up and they were threatened surgery, which we didn't do, I know I have limitations on this arm. So I used to golf on a regular basis. Okay, so I used to golf. Now, to golf for me, I could still golf, but instead of doing an 18 hole, I only could do a 9. And then I don't even make it the whole 9 because the shoulder cannot tolerate it. It loses, not only did it lose its elasticity and its mobility, it's lost its strength that I cannot build back after all that time. So when I lift my shoulder, I only can lift it, like right there's the limit, and I start developing pain. And this is many years later. And that's what I think with people who get pain is what they struggle with, is trying to understand, why doesn't it go completely away? And the reason it doesn't go completely away for some people, or we can still see residual down the road, is because there was damage and the body needs time to heal completely. If it can't heal completely, we will still have some residual, which is what I have.
Yeah. Hold on, let's move on.
I know that was a long answer. That was a long answer. But I thought that because that's what we're talking about today, because this is a shoulder, we're talking elbow, we're talking hand pain. This directly links with what a lot of people are experiencing out there. Yeah.
So let's get more about you. Like, when did you start getting into crocheting and coming on YouTube, being the Crochet Nurse?
Yeah. Well, so around the time when I hurt my shoulder in 2008 is when I first started crocheting. And I thought, and the reason I did at that time was because they were telling me to hold my hands still and basically to stop moving my shoulder as much, because I was golfing at that time a lot. I was very active in golfing, and I needed to be able to hold my shoulder still. And so I was trying to learn how to knit or crochet, because I was figuring, okay, I can hold my shoulder as still as I could and still be active. I needed to still be active to strengthen the muscles here so I wouldn't lose mobility. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Still wanted to do that. And so that's when I started crocheting. And then once the shoulder healed, I moved back away from crocheting, because as most people realize, nursing gets crazy busy. And so I moved away from that. And then 2 or 3 years ago, I went back into crocheting again when I was looking at more of a turn in my career. Because as I shared with folks on my channel, sometime I keep threatening to, and I haven't done it yet, But sometime I plan to retire, and I am looking at the crochet community, the YouTube community, adding that into my community for social support, which is super important for mental health, right? I have a huge community of nurses that I rely on now. I talk every day. I can just reach out, boom, I have somebody immediately. And that's what nursing is. And so when you move away from that type of a community, you want some other type of community that's just as wonderful to replace that. And this is, I know you've experienced that. Right?
And I say it all the time, and I'm going to say thank you to her as I always do. Reggie, aka she is the wonderful like crochet glue. She's introduced me to so many people in the crochet community. Even though I've been crocheting on YouTube for a couple years now, I didn't know anybody, but now I feel like I'm starting to know all of these people. I'm actually enjoying our community.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I first came into, you know, because I did like everybody else, right? You come in and you start watching videos and go, oh, I like this person. I like that person. I saw you years ago when you first started practically. And so, yeah. And so, and you watch people and you go, oh, I like that. And you comment to people, but then moving into creating the videos became more of a way to engage even more with the community. And once I started engaging, you know, then folks started responding to me. And then other crocheters respond to me like you and others, you know, and it's like, I agree, like Reggie, it's just fantastic that you can have this kind of a community of really, it's a community of support is what it is.
And you grow so fast. You have such an excellent channel. It's so unique because there's no place to go for. When I Google on crochet pain, I get the most blanketed topics. I would love to go to somebody just like you to understand exactly what's going on. But we're going to hop. Oh, here we go. Reggie said, J-Hook Crochet, that's me gluing people together.
Yeah.
If anybody knows Reggie's sarcasm, she probably said it just like that. Okay. All right, we're going to skip some of my questions. I see people are already starting to ask questions. If you have any questions for Sheila, please put like 3 question marks in front of your question so I'm able to see, because the live stream chat goes so quickly.
Before too, we need to, we also need to level set, and people heard me say this before, you want to level set. Even though I'm a nurse, I'm not a doctor, so I don't diagnose and we don't treat. And the information that I share will be my opinions and through my experience.
Yes.
That's a little medical disclaimer.
What she said. Exactly. It's recorded. All right. The first question we have from Vicki Reed. Oh, I've come to learn that my shoulder pain is called frozen shoulder because of wrong curvature of my neck now. So what is she talking about, the curvature of her neck when she's crocheting?
Well, they're using the term frozen shoulder is because you're probably going to have an outlet problem, which means the nerves are getting pinched. It depends on the type of pain that you're having. And when I say wrong curvature of your neck, that's going to be the crochet couch. So crochet crouch is going to be this. I don't know if you guys can see me or not, but this is the crochet crouch where you're down and you're sitting this. That's what they're talking about, the wrong curvature of the neck. The neck is supposed to sit like this. So if my head's up here, it's supposed to have this nice curvature here. That's the way it's supposed to sit. When you're leaning forward, you're doing this. And you're elongating the neck, which is what they're referring to, saying that that is going to create pain, and it absolutely does create pain. In one of my videos, I actually talk about neck pain. So we'll chat about it in a minute here, is we have a lot of muscles in this upper part of the neck, right? The nerves will come off the spinal cord and shoot down the arms. In the back, in the back here, you have a huge muscle right here in the back of your neck, and it runs down the neck, and then it covers over to the top of the shoulders is what it does. And so when you're leaning forward like this, if everybody leans forward right now, you can feel a little stretch on the back of that neck. Just like, do you feel it, Alysha? You feel that little stretch?
Yeah.
That's okay to feel a little stretch. And what you're doing is you're pulling on that muscle that's right here at the top of the back. However, if you do that constantly, pulling on this, you're going to lead to damage, because it's like I was talking about with the shoulder. It's the same thing, repetitive, something over and over. Like in mine, I heard it one-shot deal, but you can have repetitive overuse damage, which is going to be what creates a lot of pain for crocheters. It's going to create it in the neck, the shoulder, the elbow, and the hand, because that's what we're doing. Repetitive use is really hard on the body.
Yeah.
And that's what you're talking about. So they're saying that it's locking up, it's freezing. Some of that depends upon type of pain. If it's pins and needles, that's going to be type of a nerve type of a pain. Or if it's a stabbing pain or just dull aches, that's going to be more musculoskeletal. It really depends on the types.
So how can I like prevent that pain? Do I posture corrector straps or just
or
there's
a few things. So, and most of it's not elegant. Most of what we need to do, it's just not elegant. It is really more about, and I do this, I think, on the neck pain video as well, where I talk about the proper posture. I sent it to you, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so every video she's talking about is listed down in the description box. You don't have to go search. It's down in the description box. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so really a lot of the way to alleviate some of the stuff to prevent further damage, here's the key that folks need to understand, is when we do repetitive use, meaning it doesn't have to just be crochet. It could be sitting at the computer typing. When you're doing all of these activities year after year after year after year, you're creating little micro pieces of damage in the hands and the neck and the shoulder and the back, wherever it is that you're doing this. And crochet is going to be one of them where you're crouching. And it may not hurt today, right? And it may not hurt tomorrow, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it's basically starting to accumulate. The pain and those little micro damages accumulate and leads to pain that we need to kind of deal with at a later time. Whether it stays acute or not depends upon how much damage we've done. And if we're developing neck pain from doing the crochet crouch sitting like that, obviously not obvious to everybody, because it's hard to kind of stop. But one of the things that we can do about it is rest the area, get used to taking a break. And like I say, some of these solutions are not elegant, but that's what they are. And it's called, the first one is to basically rest the area.
Is there any way, I was just now thinking about if you can raise your hands up or.
That's a separate animal. Depends on if she's doing the crochet crouch, that's going to be moving up, having the head aligned with the back. The second thing is one, and it's on my channel as well, I created a lap pillow. And so on the lap pillow, and you've done these from your hauls. I've seen a lap pillow, I believe. And so this one I created based on just the need for having that done. You put the pillow in your lap, and it comes around like a newborn mom pillow.
Oh, I caught mine my donut.
You know what I'm talking about? Yes. And so the beauty of making your own, guys, is this: if you make your own, you can accommodate for any of your body issues. So with me, I know that the shoulder here needs more support than this one does. And so I was able to put more stuffing on this side to support the shoulder, so it's up and it's level and I have less pain. So yeah, you put the lap pillow on, it raises up your arms, which in fact levels up your head too.
Okay. We have another one. I hope Rochelle, I might have mispronounced that. Sorry if I did. I've been crocheting since I was 11 years old. And now at the age of 32, I'm suffering a lot of sleepless nights. Why is this? And do you have any recommendations to help me sleep?
Sleepless nights in relation to pain?
That's a good question. Okay, I'm going to give you, since we don't know exactly what she means, when I have sleepless nights, it's related to my wrist. I like to sleep on my wrist, but yet from crocheting so much, it feels like my wrist is weak and I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yes. And so if it's sleepless nights in relation to wrist pain, we're going down the road a little bit and talking about like carpal tunnel, right? And so if we're talking wrist pain, we might be talking carpal tunnel, we might be talking inflammation in the areas, but it's not uncommon for people to experience pain, if we're talking pain, and she can clarify, to experience pain at night, because that's when we're when we're at rest, and we're actually kind of focused on trying to get some sleep, and that's when we can not being distracted by the daily thing of cooking, cleaning, all of those things, right? So we could ignore pain. Here's the thing: at night, it's really difficult to ignore pain at night, A, because we're laying there by ourselves or with our spouse, what have you. But B, if it's something that is related to maybe carpal tunnel, because here's the reality of the wrist. So let me see, make sure I'm in the position you can see me. So if I have my arm like this, and the nerve comes down the arm and comes right underneath here into the hand. All right. When we sleep, and this is normal, when we sleep, we tend to want to do this.
Yes.
It's called sleeping in the fetal position. This is normal. That's normal. We do this a lot. I'm notorious for sleeping like this with my hands up like this. But and see the bend on my wrist? The carpal doesn't, the nerve, which is the medial nerve that goes from through the wrist into the hand, doesn't like that. It likes it straight. This is why doctors, when they say you have wrist pain at night, they'll sometimes suggest that people wear one of those wrist protectors to keep the wrist straight. Because this is the way the nerve likes it best. It likes it straight. To stretch out that nerve, we would actually bend this way. So it kind of stretches it. But you bend it this way, the nerve is going to react, and this is the way we like to sleep, and this can actually cause pain for people while they sleep. Another thing that causes pain for people when they sleep is, and because she's talking about crochet, is if you sleep on your left side and you sleep dead on that shoulder tip. What are we doing? Right? Sleeping dead on the shoulder because right up here, coming out from here over, there's a bundle of nerves that kind of sit right around here. And if I'm pushing on this shoulder, I'm smashing that area and I'm compressing that, and which is going to lead to pain.
I'm always telling my husband, like, I wish when I go to sleep, I just want to get rid of this arm just so I can just, it feels like it's in the way. It's painful. Yeah.
If you want to do passive at night, like say for the wrist, if you know, it depends on what's going on with their hand, right? And that would be an MD question, right? It'd be definitely an MD question. But a lot of people will make sure that their arms are straight like this, and this is going to give the best relief for the nerve, so it can relax, right? So it can relax and stretch out overnight. The other thing for like the shoulder, remember I just mentioned a minute ago that there was passive exercises. Here's something I do every morning. For me, I do it every morning because I sleep on my side. And so what I do is first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, wherever I'm at, I take my arm and I throw it behind my back and lay it on my side. Just this. Imagine me laying on my side and I've just thrown my arm back and I do nothing else. And I just leave it there. And what this does is it opens up this area to allow blood flow, and it kind of takes the pressure off that nerve.
Okay. All right. It makes sense. This isn't a question, it's a statement, but I remember we were talking about mental health too. Nancy said, crochet has helped me with mental stability as well as COVID-19. Do you find this as well?
Yes. I've had, and my work, we're doing a lot, and when it relates to the national health crisis, and people are very stressed about it. People are super stressed about it, and I don't blame them. People are very stressed. And one of the ways that we can alleviate stress and get back some of those positive endorphins kind of floating around the body is by having a hobby. And you alluded to my channel over there. There's a reason that says crochet a hobby for wellness. And I mean mental wellness as well as physical wellness, because it is. If you have success in completing a project, if you are stressed about what's going on out there in the world, this is a good alternative to kind of sit still and be crafty, create something, whether you use your pattern or you create from somebody else. You go to Littlejohn's, you grab one of her patterns, you know what? You're creating, right? And at the end of the day, you've made that item and you can be proud of yourself for making that item. And that's what it's about, is that feeling of success and satisfaction when it's done. For those people who are transitioning from one job to another, or right now with all of those people who've been laid off, I know it sounds odd, but this is a good time to pick up a hook and yarn and feel productive. And it'll increase the endorphins, increase your dopamine, increase your serotonin, all three of those which make us feel better as people.
Okay, this one goes along with it. It's just a statement. This is from Ted. Crochet has helped me with opioids use since I was 17, having so many surgeries and nonstop pain. I found myself depending on it. I asked my doctor to take me off and do something that was non-addictive, and crochet seemed to help. Yes,
that's an excellent example. That's absolutely an excellent example, because with you found the magic bullet. You found the magic bullet, and congratulations and kudos to you, because yes, we can get into that hamster wheel of yes, having pain and go down the road of the opioids and all of these other physical therapy, all the things that I talked about at the beginning, right? All of the physical therapy, opioids, potential surgeries, but taking that positive step towards saying, okay, I'm going to add in a craft. I'm going to exercise my hands, and I'm going to build up some dopamine in my mind, because that's what it does. The craft is going to enhance your endorphins. Anytime we do something positive for ourselves, we have a release of endorphins in the body, which says, hey, yay, you. That's what it does. It's a yay, you. Okay, that's what happens, and that's what crochet does for us. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, definitely. And this was
very inspiring.
From Patty. Love your tank top. Share the pattern. Where'd you say you got this pattern from?
I got it from, I think it was, oh my gosh, it's on my site. Absolutely Crochet. It's a website.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give it to you afterwards. So you put it in down below.
Yeah.
Because I shared it with my group when I actually introduced this top. Yeah.
That is cute. I wish I had it on. I keep trying to tuck my shirt because I'm getting stains underneath my shirt. Everybody don't look. Okay. This is what I'm going to talk about. It's my turn for a question. This is my big thing. I talk about on my channel all the time. Over the past, 30 pounds. I've gained 30 pounds. So I've been crocheting hardcore. My day job, or night shift job, I work as a caretaker. I sit a lot. And when I crochet, I'm sitting. Help.
There's separate topics there though, Alysha.
Okay, let's start with finding time to move. First one.
Okay. Yeah, okay, because you're introducing two separate topics as it pertains to weight loss. One of them is obviously what a lot of people are going to have. It's going to be when they're crocheting and they're sitting still and they're not doing anything. And I addressed this on one of my videos. I forget which one, but I talk about being able to get up and move. And it goes right in line with not hurting yourself when you're crocheting. So, and this is, again, not going to be totally glamorous, but this is going to be things like, if you're going to crochet, and this is some of the things that I do. If I'm going to crochet, I go find my chair. It's usually going to be this one or one that I have just like this in the living room. And I only take half the yarn that I need. So it forces me to get up when I finish that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to trick yourself into moving. If you're going to, and we all want to get things done. We want to one more row, right? We want to do that. But if I know I'm at a half a ball, I won't take an extra ball. All right. I also, you saw how much tea I have, not that much. I do that normally. I will only take like a half a glass of soda or tea, usually tea, with me. And so when I'm done, I have to get up. Do you see what I'm saying? Little tricks like that. And that's actually when I decided I was going to quit smoking. I did it with little tricks like that. Little tricks like that you build in as habits, or like not taking snacks to the chair. Don't put the snacks beside you in the chair. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, but a lot of people do. And like I say, these are little things that once you, instead of making huge changes, which is what a lot of people like to do, they'll make a huge change, and that's hard to sustain. But if you do small micro changes and you add things in over time, it will impact you in the long run much better. So like I say, like take the half a ball of yarn, right? Make sure you have a stitch marker with you so you can get up. Okay, so when, things like that, only take a half a glass of tea with you. And anytime that you do get up, like if you're going to get up and go get a glass of tea or get another drink of water, what have you, right? While you're standing there in the fridge doing the tea, right? This is a weird one, but I do it a lot. When I'm standing there, what I do is I actually either will stand on my tiptoes and do like calf things, like hold the fridge door and do like calf exercises. You can't see me, but I'm doing them now.
I can picture it.
Up and down. I'll do that like 2 or 3 times, because every little micro move that you do encourages you to do more. And so if you're going to start with something small, and it'll just keep snowballing into bigger and bigger things. Like when I brush my teeth.
Crochet video called One More Row Workout Fitness Plan.
Yeah, it really is. Like brushing your teeth. Everybody stands there and brushes their teeth, right? Mm-hmm. So why? And this is another one. When I brush my teeth, I just don't brush my teeth. I actually do I throw my leg behind me, or I do leg elevations while I'm standing there brushing. It helps me count as far as how long I've been brushing my teeth too.
Yeah.
So It sounds weird, but you just kind of do a little bit of exercises while you're moving around. And like I say, it all snowballs. Once you start doing some of that things, it will graduate into, you know what? I feel good enough today. I'm going to take a walk. And then the next day it's like, you know what? I'm going to take a longer walk. That way you're not hurting yourself. And because some people get frustrated with a start an exercise plan or a diet plan and they can't stick to it. They get frustrated. They can't stick to it. And some of that is because we try to go too fast too soon. Or if we do micro steps, we get there and we're more successful.
Yeah. Somebody just said, I actually lost weight by crocheting since I didn't have much time to be munching on something. See, I'm the opposite. Instead of grabbing a snack at the end of each row, which is right next to me, maybe I should do like 5 calf raises at the end of each row instead of 5 Cheeto crunches.
It's easy enough to do too, right? Yeah. Instead of 5 Cheeto crunches. Yeah, because you got to reward yourself somehow, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So anybody, if you have any questions for Sheila, please, if you're just now getting here, put question marks right in front of your question and we'll ask her. I'll bring them up to the front of the page and she'll answer all your questions. And also, if you would like, I would appreciate it. You can also donate through Super Chat. When you do, I'm giving away my 40 pattern ultimate pattern bundle. You'll get one of those whenever you do donate. Oh, we have a question. I see the 3 question marks. It says, a Mommy J Way. Is it better to crochet holding the hook overhand or as a pencil? Oh, we get to hop into crochet hooks.
Well, we're in the topic now. So this is the topic Alysha and I have been waiting for. So this is the topic we've been waiting for is hooks because we both came to bear with hooks. And my personal opinion is whichever is going to give you less pain. Right? To be honest, whichever is going to give you less pain. There's people that have commented to me and say that they use pencil method and others will do the knife. It depends on what your comfort level is. Most people, it's going to be this method here with the knife hold that's going to give less pain. If you use the right hooks, that's the other piece. You ready, Alysha? We're ready for that.
my favorite crochet hook. I've always loved, I love Susan Bates, but I fell in love with the Clover because everybody talked about how great it is. And I love the Clover too because it's real lightweight. But no matter what, when I crochet too long, my hand, I get this sharp, debilitating pain in my hand. If anybody else gets this, give me a thumbs up. Why do you get this pain in your hand?
Look right here. Here's why.
Whoop,
you see where that?
Oh. Wait, who donated? I can't see. Wait. Who is it? I got 2 supers and I can't find them. Woo! I got another. Where's the buttons?
Did you find them?
Oh, from GW. Just love watching you and keeping up the good work. Thank you so much. Oh, and another continuer, PJ. I can't pronounce your last name. I just love how you have various topics like this, not just straight crochet.
Yeah. And that's what's fun. That's what's fun about your channel is that you do have multitude of topics. That's what I like about your channel, actually. And that's what you're saying you like about mine, too.
Yeah. Richie told me this before. I only have topics because naturally I'm uninteresting. And I feel like I have to have information to keep the air just going. So that's why I have topics, not because I'm just that great. It's just because I'm uninterested.
You see, I'm the same way. I like things that interest me, and sometimes the things that interest me may not interest other people, but it interests me. Like health interests me. Clearly, with my background, so that interests me. So back to the hooks. Can we go back to that?
Why? So why am I getting this pain? Even though, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Look at my hand. Do you see where that? And this is what you and I were talking about the other day, right? So right there, when you look at where this hook hits, when you're crocheting, this is why people are getting hand pain. If you look at where that hook hits, even though this is a clover, and there's many of us who really love clovers for the feel. We love them for the grip, and I do too. And we love them for the tip because it glides through the yarn. However, depending on where your hand hits, this is where if you're using it a lot, you can end up with hand pain. Right here in this part of your hand, I showed this on my hand pain video as well. If you flip your hand out and put your hand on top of it, that whole area that you have a hand on is a big muscle. If you flip it over on the other side and looking at the thumb, there's a whole big muscle here too.
I
And
get
so
pain here too.
yeah, you do, because you're holding the hook and it's digging into this muscle. That's what it's doing. And so one of the other hooks that I get, and I do like them, and you and I are chatting, I'll have to show the Addy too, but one of the other hooks that I actually like, believe it or not, is I actually like one of the Hobby Lobby hook, and I'll show you why. Holding that, look where it hits me in the hand. It don't. So when I'm using this one, it's not digging into my hand.
Super chat. Something's going off. The bubbles. I'm missing all type of people. Hold on. Oh my. Here we go. We got this one. Thank you so much. They sent the super sticker. There's another one I feel like I've missed. I'm going to keep scrolling to make sure I get everybody.
There's one that says super keep it up.
I missed it. I don't know. It's gone. But whoever donated this super chat, please, let me turn this off. Make sure you email me. Oh no, it's not turning off. Make sure you email me at littlejohnsyarns@gmail.com so you can receive your ultimate pattern bundle that has 40 of my free written crochet patterns. But thank you so much. Cheers to everybody. I'm a little bit scattered right now. Where's my wine glass? Cheers. Thank you so much for donating. I wait. Stay right there. I got it. Cheers.
I'm never going to get that.
But back to that pain and the Hobby Lobby. I want one of those.
I'm not even going to kid about how much I love tea. And I'll probably get the comment that it's bad, but yes. Anyway.
I love wine.
We all love something. So anyway, so if you see the distance here, that this actually sticks out. And one of the items, or one of the hooks that we were looking at, this is not going to give you pain in the hand as much as a clover if you're doing long term. So I have a bevy of these, and this is one of the Hobby Lobby hooks, and I also have these in larger sizes. In fact, when I look at the clover, this is a Hobby Lobby Q, and you can see how big this guy is. Yeah. It is huge. All right, I don't even have a clover in the Q size, because when I went and looked at the clover for this size, it was this short. And so when I hold this one, look at the length in the hand. And so I have a lot of meat in there to work with. And I use this when I'm making like the homeless mats, because I'll make plarn and then do homeless mats and then give them away, especially in the wintertime. It's really beneficial because they can roll it up and take it with them. And it really helps them. And they can put it on the ground, and it gives them a water barrier between themselves and the ground, and then they can put their blanket on top of that plastic barrier, and it keeps them a little bit warmer, right? And so that's what I will use this hook for. But you can see in the thickness of it versus the clover. Look at the thickness difference.
Yeah.
Just a huge difference in the thickness. The more meat you have in your hand, the less pressure you're going to have. So let's say I have this, and you see I'm not having to squeeze too hard, but I get into a smaller one. I love these clovers, but I do need to close my hand more, which means I'm pulling these tendons a little bit more than on the larger hooks.
But if that's good, then these must be super great since they're so thick. Yeah, these must be super great, right?
Wow, aren't you? Yeah. So I have boys too, because I get them. This is one of those that a lot of us get these when we first start crocheting, right? These big old boys. Here's the thing. So Alysha and I chat a bit about these. Is ergonomic wise, look at it still digs into my hand a little bit, but it's bigger. So yes, it feels better in the hand. Here's the thing with this guy. This guy right here, and this is an N boy hook. It weighs 42 grams. This is super heavy in your hand. The same clover weighs 12. Yeah. And so if you already have a lot of yarn on the hook, or if you do big stitches where you have a lot of loops on the yarn, this is not going to be your friend, because it's going to be heavy and it's going to give you hand pain pretty quickly. Even after a couple rows, it's going to give you hand pain. I think if somebody had said that they get hand pain really quickly, it could be the hook, could be your culprit if it's a heavy hook.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I forgot to hop into some of the versions of crochet hooks. You wanted me to
Oh,
show
yeah,
you, Addie.
yes, please.
I've done a review on that Addie. Have you ever used the Addie swing hooks before?
No.
Okay, the Addie swing hooks, you either love it or you hate it. If you have a pencil grip, it's just, well, let me show you how it's shaped first.
I would not use it for a pencil. Yeah.
It is the most awkward, no matter how you hold it for a pencil grip, it's just not right. But for the knife grip, I think the way she was saying, it wraps around that. Watch the Ethernet.
Yeah.
My car to grandma's? No, you can take your own car. I mean, my car. I'll take your car to grandma's. Yeah, that's what I was asking. Yeah.
I love the design.
Hold on, I'm sorry. You talk on my daughter's, she's about to borrow my car.
Yeah, I love the design of the Addie, and for everything that she's describing, where how it lays into the hand, the issue is going to be is what your hand size is to that hook, because they're trying to make it generic enough so that way they can sell it as mass produced, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, but this thing, the way it sculpts into the hand is beautiful. Here's the thing that may or may not work for everybody, and we all do it, right? When we're crocheting, we're not sitting just like this. Our hands are moving, our fingers are moving, right? And we're moving our hand around, which is, yes. So everything's going to move. That's going to be probably the downside of that. But I do want to try one of those hooks. Yeah. I think they would be great.
The only thing that was difficult for me, because I'm so used to when I crochet, the yarn slides slightly past the shaft on a straight hook.
Yeah.
I had to get used to not holding my finger here to stop the yarn from sliding. I had to make sure I kept my finger back. Does that make sense? I had to retrain myself how to hold it.
Yeah, and that's actually what slows me down from purchasing that is the way that top is where it joins. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this one has a much smoother glide than that one.
It's a natural. This is abrupt. It changes.
Yeah. But for lengthwise, see, that one's long. I don't know, maybe compare it to like the Hobby Lobby. This is one of the things I actually like about the Hobby Lobby for that reason is you look at the size of the shaft. Mm-hmm. You get a much bigger shaft.
Yeah.
Which means you got better hand placement. So you can go higher, you can go low, and which is helpful for people depending on what they have. Some people have arthritic hands. And so for somebody who's got arthritic hands, they're going to want a bigger hook in their hand most of the time. Even for folks who have really like RA where they have a hard time moving their hands, we would still encourage a lot of folks, depending on where they're at within their disease process. Sometimes the physicians would encourage something like crochet because it still helps with the dexterity. It helps with the mobility.
Yeah. Okay, we have a question from Betta. Is there something I can do to relieve lower back pain after a long crochet session?
The big thing for low back pain, of course, is going to be dependent on what you're doing. Like if you have sciatica or you have a chronic condition, that's going to be an MD issue. But for general stuff that we're talking about here, stretching and getting up and moving around like we've been talking about. If you're sitting still and not sitting on a supported surface, so as I shared, I forget which video it is, when you're talking about your posture, like I'm sitting now straight up, and I have my feet flat on the floor. That's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck for your posture, but you also want to look at the seat that you're sitting in. So some of the things, like the one that I'm sitting in here, I know I can lean over because I have scoliosis in my upper back. And so this chair has been, even though it looks like a normal chair, it's been modified so it fits me, so I can lean a little bit and still not tear up my shoulder. This also has to play in your lower back. If you're look at your cushion and see, because if you're leaning, you could start up here, it could start hurting at the upper back. It actually could lead to lower back pain because maybe the cushion's not proper, you're not sitting at the right height, your feet are not flat on the ground. But if you have just generalized lower back pain from sitting still for so long, getting up and just doing a few stretches and walking around to get the blood flow back in there, because what stiffness and pain is from us sitting still and from crocheting is really inflammation that builds up into that area. We sit still, we're doing all of this chronic motion, or we're sitting still where all the blood flow is running down to the bottom of our buttocks area and in the back and not moving. We're not getting the blood flow moving in and out. And so what happens, the body says, hey, something bad's happening here. I better go in there and rescue you, body, because you're doing something bad, right? And so it'll send inflammation bodies into that area and it'll start swelling. And that's really what a lot of pain is, when musculoskeletal swelling. And so we need to get up and get the body moving so we get the blood flow in so we can pull back out that inflammation.
Okay. Oh, anybody else, if you have any questions, please put little questions in front of your question, so I'll be able to know exactly that's your question. For me, when we're talking about sitting down and having pain, I wish I loved it. I had this seat cushion. It had the dips and dips and loop in the back that helped me sit straight. It stopped. I don't know if it was that or a placebo, but I feel like my legs were getting as numb with this seat cushion.
No.
Was it me?
It's not a placebo effect. And so it depends. It really depends. Everybody's so unique. Everybody has a unique body, right? Everybody's so unique. That's why there's physical therapists. That's why there's the MDs and all of these other folks that are trying to help manage pain, because everybody's so unique. What I use for a seat cushion is going to have, it has the front support for the legs because I have short legs. You still there, Alysha?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I have short legs. And so what I do, yep, I can now, better. There was a little bit of glitchiness there a second ago, but I have shorter legs. And so my issues is going to be, can I sit still without creating some nerve damage in the hips? Because you have a big cluster of nerves that come off your buttocks area and go down each leg. That's what happens. And so when you're sitting for a long time, you're kind of pressing on those nerve issues. Again, we're talking nerves again, right? We're still talking nerves. And so when you're sitting for a long time, it's right at the base of your back and right your buttocks area, you're going to compress those nerve areas again. And so one of the ways to alleviate that, A, is getting up and move around, and B, a seat cushion that actually has a cutout in the back area. So the legs are elevated a little bit, and then the back area, it's like a hole that's in the back, so that way it leaves the lower base of the back a little bit of freedom so it doesn't compress.
Okay. Reggie said, are there any specific accessories that you've tried and would recommend to prevent problems caused by crocheting for a long time? Any type of pain-related accessories to help?
Sure. So what I typically, using the ergonomic hooks like Alysha and I are talking about, definitely find the hook that's right for you. It doesn't have to be the same hook that I'm using or the same hook that Alysha is using, but do spend the time to look. There's some hooks on the market. Oh, where's my thing? There's some hooks on the market. There was like a cheap knockoff brand from Amazon. I think it was the Dinero, that I was fiddling with them, and they resemble the clovers quite a bit. They're just as light. They feel just as good in the hand, but they're cheaper, much cheaper. So the first thing is going to be finding the right hook that's right for you. The second thing, if you get stiffness or swelling in the hand, first you're going to want to make sure that if it's stabbing pain that's staying the same and not going away, that's something you're going to want to see your MD about, first of all. Secondly, if it's something that you can do on a regular basis, is resting the joint as much as you can. By that, I mean, you don't have to stop crocheting. Just stop for right then, get up and move around. What I like to use is actually when my hand starts to give me problems, I use IMAX gloves. There's like the Lion brand gloves around there on the market, but I use the IMAX because it gives me a tighter compression. And that's going to depend on it. I love them. The IMAX gloves, they come all the way down to here and up on the fingers, and it gives a nice compression for the palm area to help me with carpal tunnel. So I use that, and you can't see it, but below me I have a cushion that I always sit on, and it's exactly what I described to you, that it has the front to support my legs, and it kind of like my, and it's kind of a reverse of this. This is a pillow, okay?
Oh, guys, you keep talking. I realized I don't got my plug. My computer's about to die, and we can't die. You keep talking. Find my plug. Where is it?
So it's kind of like the reverse of this, and this is actually a neck pillow that I would use when I sleep. But it's kind of like the reverse of this. Think about your buttocks is right here, and then this is toward your back, and so it has a nice cutout. So that way, when you're sitting, taking the pressure off of the back. But I sit on that on a regular basis, and then being careful what you're using for your armrests as well. Are they at the right height? So mine are, as you can see when I sit back a little bit, so you guys can see. When I sit, my arms are in line straight over here. So even in like right here, I can sit and I can crochet in this chair without any problem whatsoever because it made it ergonomic for me. And that's what you're wanting to look for, is your tools are going to be your chair, your hooks, a pillow. Okay, this is the exact opposite, but a pillow for your buttocks as well. That's going to be your tools. and your best strategies to stay pain-free. Go ahead, Alysha.
We got to donate. I'm out of breath trying to look for that cord. Have to run upstairs. I'm sweating. But thank you so much, Christy. Great job, ladies. Thanks for all that you do. Thank you so much. I'm sorry.
Hi, Christy.
Is that your Christy? You know Christy?
No.
Oh, you're Christy. That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, we had some questions about the furls. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm hot. Where's my water bottles? What do you think about the furls crochet hooks? I thought I couldn't find my crochet hook that looks like one, but what do you think about them?
I like them. Actually, I was talking back and forth yesterday with Creatively Tracy. She is a YouTuber, and she and I are having a discussion about the furls. And they're actually longer, and they're actually thicker in the body than what the clover is. So it'd be one of those, once you got used to it, then it would be a good one. But ergonomically, it looks very sound. It comes out the hand a little bit further, probably about a ½ inch to an inch longer. And so it's going to give it, and it's a nice glide. Yep. The price is a little there. I think it's like $30 for a furl.
Mm-hmm. They're beautiful.
They're
the
beautiful.
one I have was a handmade one from, I did a review of them a couple years ago. Well, not a couple years, a couple months ago. I forget the name, but the hook was so beautiful. I was like, oh, gorgeous. But let's see. Let's hop back in. Kim, where are we at? We did Kim's. Proverb says, I use a boppy pillow on my chair as well when she crochets to put on her lap. Let's see. I'm losing everything. Here's my questions.
Yeah, and that's great. And that's the thing is, if you start doing these things now, and that's really why when Alysha and I were chatting, that's why I said, oh, okay, yeah, I'd love to talk about this, because the big thing that I would like to say is start now. Is the things that you can do now. If you're not having any pain, kudos, congratulations. But guess what? Do these things that we're talking about right now, meaning grab your pillow, make sure you got the right hook. If either, like I say, the opposite of this, which is going to be.
I was gone. That's cute. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Well, this is a neck pillow, but the same concept would be for a buttocks pillow, because your back would be here and your bottom would be here, and you get the relief. You want to do stuff like that now. You want to set your chair up properly so you're at the right angle, and then have your lap pillow. Like I say, the things that we've talked about, you do that stuff now, you're going to prevent or at least stave off damage for the future, because you don't want to be that person that at 65 or 70 years old, you're saying, oh my gosh, I can't do anything anymore because I'm in so much pain. That's tough. That's a tough spot to be in. Yeah. And then you're looking at all these treatments, and it is repetitive over repetitive years and years of use.
See, that's my fear. Crochet is my biggest love, and I do it so much. I'm afraid, because like you say, anything is repetitive motion.
It is.
To wear myself out. And I've done that before, where I pushed myself so hard where I had to stop for like a month from doing what I love. But that goes right back into mental health. I only push myself so hard. If any of you guys are custom order crochet salespeople, you understand.
Yep. And then you need to use the right method too, right? Because if you need to push yourself, like I know, Alysha, you do a lot of stuff. You really do. And so if you need to push yourself, then you want to take advantage of the other strategies. Like we're talking about the hook and the pillow, those types of things. But then also if you need to ice something down, do it. There's nothing, I can't tell you how many times that I've iced down my shoulder I was doing some stuff last night. My shoulder just gave me just a slight twinge. And so I immediately went and slapped a bag of peas over my shoulder. And yes, a bag of peas is good.
Sorry, that's my wine box over there.
Yeah. A bag of peas, a bag of broccoli, because you just take it out of the freezer, throw it across the shoulder, and it'll fit naturally and nicely right over the shoulder area, that kind of thing. And you get a little bit of relief from it to kind of slow down that inflammation. That's what'll slow things down. As soon as you feel anything, start to do something about it is one of the best things to do.
I'm starting to see people are enjoying my fan that I got. I have, my house is not, I don't have central air. So I have a fan in my window, and I'm sweating. Look at this. I'm sweating. It is bad in here. I don't know where I got this. I believe my mother left it at my house, and I decided never give it back to her. So That's exactly
What is
what.
it? Oh, it's just a little baby fan, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fan and a water bottle all at the same time. It
That's
is hot
hilarious.
in here. I'm
Yeah.
dying. Oh,
But it's tough. But you know what's tough about it is it's your area of the country, right? Pennsylvania and then on up. Because my daughter still lives in Boston, no air conditioning, and they're just up there and in the 90s last week, and yeah, it's
yeah,
just crazy. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
it is. Oh, this is nothing to do with you or crochet related nurse or health things. I just want to mention this. I have a review video coming up on Monday, because you guys know I love to do crochet gadget reviews.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
But I am not getting paid extra to talk about this at all, or any type of affiliate links is not for me. I'm not getting any money. This little caddy, it's like a diaper caddy. Yes, you can get these for like a makeup bag, a cheap at the dollar store or whatever, and put your tools in. But I love this thing. I was able to put like 7 skeins of yarn in here, a couple little spools and everything loaded up, all my hooks. I usually put all my stuff in one big, huge tin. You guys get to see it ahead of time. This gets 5 balls of yarn, y'all. This is in the description box. We did give a discount code for anybody who wants to purchase one of these, or it's up to you. You can get your own makeup bag for cheaper, but this thing, I love it. I've been carrying it everywhere, but I just want to talk about that real quick. I'm sorry.
And again, 5 balls of yarn.
You were making fun of me. Sheila was saying, you say 5 balls of yarn, so sexy. Number 3, 5 balls of yarn. I don't know. I'm sorry. It is kind of funny though.
Yeah, cute. It's very cute. Oh, carpal. I think we had a couple questions about carpal tunnel. So you and I were going to talk about that just because we chatted about it in general. For most people, they know what carpal is because they experience it, where they'll have numbness and tingling, predominantly thumb, finger area, and then it kind of moves up the arm and it can move up the shoulder. Of course, you always want to have things checked out by the MD if you have pain that's continuing, those types of things. But for carpal, when Alysha and I were chatting about it, I would say, is there exercises that you can do for carpal? Not for carpal tunnel, not as much as exercises as there is ways that you could kind of relieve it a little bit. Of course, the other things we already talked about will come to play with the resting the area, icing. You'd either ice way up here or you'd ice on the wrist area, right? That kind of thing. Or compression, that would work as well. And elevation, because it would slow down the swelling. But there's also this you could help you do. Like we were talking earlier, the carpal doesn't like it, or the median nerve that comes down doesn't like it if your hand's bent like this. And so one of the things that you can do is make sure that your hand's straight. If you're going to sleep with a brace at night, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But if you're having some numbness and tingling, flip your hand upside down like this, and then you start to gently massage, and do this gently, where you're doing in circles. Now push it this way so you guys can see. And you're going after the muscle. Right here is where it's coming through, but we can't get in there because there's a big old tendon in the way. You can't do anything about that. So we're kind of moving things around. So you massage the little thumb or the palm of the hand, because remember I said this is all meat in here. Ooh. Flip it over on the other side. And this is where the flanges are for the finger. They're like here. You can feel the bones. In between the bones is where you want to massage. In between. Because the bones themselves, you can feel them. In between, there's just teeny tiny tendons and muscles that you want to get at. Okay? And then don't forget to do your thumb. Do some circles on your thumb. Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found the tender spot right here. Ooh.
Yeah. And if you have, great point, if you have a tender spot, what you want to do is gently press on it. Mm-hmm.
That feels good.
Yeah, gently press on. But yeah, it shouldn't hurt anything. Okay. Then once you have that kind of good and rubbed out, then where you want to go, I'll move back so you can see, is right up the middle of your arm, because you have 2 bones here in the arm, one on each side. You want to go up in the middle, in between. You feel the meat? Ooh, yeah, right in the middle. Do you feel that? Do you feel the difference?
Yeah, right in here. It feels good when I press right there.
Yeah. And you can just kind of walk your fingers down. walk them up, walk them down. And this actually, like I say, this is where that nerve is. You're not touching, the nerve is deep inside. You're not touching the nerve. What you're doing is basically massaging the area and helping it get a little bit of relief.
I have to do the second hand. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but for folks who, you know, get a little bit of numbness and tingling, that is actually something like you're sitting, you stop at the end of a row. I mean, I do this when I'm sitting still. Like I'll stop at the end of the row and I'll just automatically go for the meat of my thumb and start doing the circular massage. And it'll help so much. It'll hurt here like crazy because that's where the medial nerve comes through. But like I say, there's nothing you can do here. You want to alleviate around it as much as you can. Yep. And anything you do, if it hurts, you stop, of course. But that helps a lot of folks.
From Maria, this quote is for us. One of my favorite quotes actually come from Robert Mondavi. I've mispronounced that. The wine guy. Everything in moderation with a few glorious exceptions. So don't feel guilty about how much tea or wine you drink.
Oh, thanks. Right on.
All right, let's see if I missed any questions. I got to scroll up. Let's see. Here we go. Not a question, but somebody says, I soak my hands in Epsom salt and warm water and wear a brace at night.
Fantastic. Great strategy. Yeah, because the cold reduces the inflammation, and then the warmth that you're doing actually helps get the blood flow back in there. Fantastic. Great strategy.
Let's see. Am I missing any? Oh, somebody said, wow, that hand massage really worked. I used to do, my husband and daughter loves my hand massages. When I was young, I went to cosmetology when I was young. So we learned how to do hand massages. What was it? Reflexology. Yeah. And I give the best hand massages. I get some lotion, and by the time they're done, I always tease. I always do one hand and tell them I'm not going to do the second one. Because that one hand that's massage feels like a cloud floating on air after you're done. But nobody gives me a hand massage. I got to do it myself.
Yeah, but they're pretty nice, though. Like I say, I do those on a regular basis, especially if I'm getting numbness and tingling. I will do that. But of course, like I say, anything if it doesn't stop or is persistent or increased pain, those are things you're going to want to talk to your MD. They may treat it themselves, or they may send you to orthopedic, those types of things, and that's a discussion between you and your physician. But yeah, there's, like I say, certain things that we could do. Oh, you had the thing about the bread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Snuffles mom. Oh, hold on. We got a super chat, and Snuffles mom, I'll get right back to your question. Who donated? I don't see the super. It just popped up. Paige says, here we go. Pull her up. You're so informative, and I'm able to you live. Oh, get to me live finally. I know what you meant. Thank you so much, and cheers to you. Cheers. But that bread comment. Tell me about how. Wait.
I know we'll get it one day.
Okay, I was telling her this is. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I was just guessing, but I did go gluten-free for a whole month, and I didn't have eczema flare-ups. But I love bread, like some good old yeast rolls that are like glistening on top, and you pull apart. It's all just beautiful. I love bread. What can I
bread.
Help me.
I like bread too. And when you said that to me, I was like, okay, I got to bring my bread and show you bread, because you had mentioned that too, because you're saying you couldn't cut back on bread because you love it. A lot of people, I love bread. I eat bread, and everybody knows that when I was talking diet and things like that, some of the things that I do, because my body don't like as much carbs as it did 20 years ago, because now I'm 20 years older, you know, not fun, but it is what it is. And so I could tolerate carbs when I was younger. I can't tolerate them now that I'm older. So, but I still love bread. So here's the thing. So I keep two different kinds of bread, and I make bread too, but that's a separate thing. But one of them, and it takes 90 seconds, Alysha. So one of them is this bread here. Can you see it?
Yeah, I gotta try that.
All right. So this is a national. Yeah, I'll show it again. So this is a national brand. It's You see, it's called Carb Balance. Okay, now get this. And there was somebody on my channel, she had asked me, told me that she has IBS, which is not uncommon for folks who have chronic pain to also have IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. That's not uncommon. And when somebody has irritable bowel, usually the doctor recommends them to eat 30 grams of fiber per day. Okay, here we go. Bread. This thing is 1 tortilla. Total carbohydrate is 19. I'll talk about that in a minute. Dietary fiber for 1 tortilla is 15 grams.
Wow.
Two of these meets the daily requirement of 30 grams of fiber for somebody who has IBS. 2 of these. And these are carb friendly. So how do we figure out carb friendly? And that's here on the back. That's right, the back. You see where it says carbohydrate? 18. And then it says fiber is 15. Yes? You see it, Alysha?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so when you're looking at something that's carb and trying to figure out is this carb friendly or not, you look at the total carbohydrate and then you deduct the amount of dietary fiber. And so one of these tortillas is 4 grams of carbohydrate, but it gives you 15 grams of fiber, which is fantastic. And it meets your bread requirement.
Okay, I'm gonna have to definitely try that out. Thank you.
One. Now I have more than one. This one actually I eat with like I'll get, because I love Harvey's roast beef, and I throw it in here, right? So that's a good one. Another one is this guy. He's not, I love this one. And this one is lavish bread.
Ooh, flat bread.
It's flat bread. So this one is 8 carbohydrates, 2 dietary fibers, so it ends up being 6 carbs. But this stuff is fantastic. So even, like I say, with folks when they say that they can't give up bread to cut down, this is, like I say, these are alternatives. Another one is you could actually make bread, and I actually do that on some days. It takes me 90 seconds. I'll make a keto bread, which is basically, I think it's 1 egg, and then I put in 2/3 of a third of a cup of almond flour, and I throw it in the microwave. 90 seconds later, I have bread. Yes.
Oh, wait. So almond flour, I have some. I wish my husband was here because he's a chef at the house. He's a vegan cook at times, but we haven't been eating vegan at all, as you can tell from I suffer from crochet butt. But regardless,
we all do a little bit.
I wish he was here. I'd be like, honey, I need you to cook me bread in 90 seconds. But he's not here right now to cook my bread in 90 seconds for me. That is so awesome.
Yeah, I can't even eat the whole thing because it's like 1 egg, and then, like I say, I think it's 2/3 or was it 1/3 of almond flour. And you just stir it up, throw it in the microwave in a bowl, throw it in the microwave for 90 seconds. It's done. I usually cut it in half, and I'll have it in two meals, one for one, and then one for later. And the carb counter on is like 2.
That's crazy. I gotta try that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I do want to get to she patiently waiting. Snuffles mom.
Okay, what's up?
I have trouble with my yarn hand. Any suggestions?
Oh, we've been talking about that, right? We talked about that right along.
You mean the unused yarn hand? This one. Go ahead.
What do you mean? Oh, but what do you mean? You aren't not with the one that has the hook? The other?
I wonder. Okay, Snuffles mom, if you're listening, which hand are you talking about? The hook hand, or is it the yarn hand? Is she talking about the hand that holds the yarn?
Yeah.
I think that hand. I was about to say I need a piece of yarn so I can give an example so people can see. You can talk as I pull out some yarn to show people.
But is it? Well, we'd have to want. Is it a skin sensitivity? Because sometimes that's what it's going to be. Because there's a lot of things if we have trouble with our hands, right? Especially if it's the hand that you're like running the yarn over. Do you have a skin sensitivity? I know for me, that's the problems that I have with my, I guess what we call the yarn hand is when I talk about the different yarns, there's certain ones that I won't use because I have you have eczema. So there's probably yarns that you can't use either. And because there's a sensitivity to it because it's running over the top of the hand and it can create some irritation. And can create some stiffness. Yeah, exactly.
I also noticed people had pain in this hand.
But there was things we're going to be talking about though. So if they have pain, it's going to be the same thing. What we were doing over here for the carpal, for those same things as far as massaging that area. We can massage all the way up the fingers as well. Now, what's in the fingers, we have the muscle, like I said, here in the hand and on the back, but what's in the fingers themselves are tendons. And so for them, it's not so much about a muscle, it's a matter of making sure that the tendons are stretched out. Do you want to do some specific hand exercises?
Yeah. What
Okay.
type of?
You up for that? You ready?
Let's exercise. Let me move my camera back. Okay, I think I'm so sweaty, guys. Don't look at my armpits. You're my friends, right? Okay, show it.
If she's talking sensitivity, it's going to be the arm. But if she's talking like a specific, like for the hand itself, so aside from carpal, well, there's like some exercises that you can do for your hand, either hand, whichever one. Okay. So first, and I kind of gave them cute names. So the first one, you're going to stick your hand out.
You get the hand without the hook.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very good. Yep. So it's going to be one. So the first one is going to be pushing your hand out like this. So it stretches the fingers. I call this like the big bye-bye. So push your hand out and then kind of stretch. You see how I'm stretching my fingers? Don't do it till it hurts, but basically stretching. You kind of push them out. Got it? There you go, Alysha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I call the big bye-bye. And the next one, I'm going to turn to the side a little bit. And I'm going to say, this is like the little bye-bye. Now what you're doing here is you're working the tops of these knuckles right here, which actually does create a lot of hand pain for people who crochet. Does that make sense? Like if it's her non-dominant hand, this will actually help that. That's the little bye-bye. Third one in, baby bye-bye. Now I'm going to tell you, for somebody who has arthritis, this will be hard for them to do. This is the baby bye-bye. Do you feel that difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel it if you move it slow enough. All right, you guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
And then after that, make a fist and push the thumb in front of the fist. Don't squeeze it too tight. What you're just doing is holding on to it. And this is actually stretching all of the tendons for those people who get, like on her yarn hand, if she has that up all the time, this will actually help that finger, right? Now, when you have the fist in one, I'm going to turn to the side again so you can see. So when you open up the fist, you want to bring it down into what looks like a claw. Do you feel that difference? Mm-hmm. Close and up into a claw. And you should feel it stretching all through the tendons in the fingers, which is where people will get stiffness. Yep, I see you shaking because it's getting flow in there. Yeah, that's what it should be. And then up in the claw like that. Where I'm feeling it is this little one. So clearly I need to do a little action there on that little.
Right here.
You're feeling it there? All right.
My point
yeah. And then the final ones is bring it back up to the big bye-bye. And we're going to touch each one. So thumb to the first one and then slide down.
Oh.
Feel that?
Yeah.
Finger to the next one, slide down. And think about what we're saying here as far as dexterity. For somebody who doesn't have a lot of dexterity, this is teaching them. Yeah, this is teaching. Pinky and slide down.
It's not as easy as it looks.
That's right. Yeah. Second one, slide down.
You know we have to do the other hand now. Okay,
you guys ready for the other hand?
Wait, I got to stretch my last two fingers.
Okay, do your last two. Do you want to lead it for the other hand?
Me?
Yeah.
No, you. I'm following you. You're the professional.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to start with the other hand. Big bye-bye. So I'm stretching it out there. Little bye-bye. This one my hand really loves. I can't even tell you how much my hand loves this one. It does. This is like the little babies, right? Bye-bye. Now we're going to do the baby bye-bye. My hand loves these.
I don't think I've never moved my hand like deliberately this way before.
That's why we're moving so slow. And a lot of people don't. It's because they'll move their hands, but they don't really think about that they need to stretch out these areas right here. And this helps move the tendons around a little bit. All right. We've done the little baby bye-bye. Now we're ready to go into a fist and then go up into a claw. I feel that
You're popping.
all the way through here. Yeah. I was doing these last night when I finished my crocheting, because I was working on something last night and I was doing these. And then I went to bed. Yeah, it'll wear your hand out.
It does. Whew.
And then we have to do our gliding now. So you need to wiggle. Remember, the wiggle's good. Wiggle, wiggle's good.
Because somebody said, I feel that in my arm more than my fingers. I'm doing it wrong. It's probably because you're holding up your arm right now. It's,
yeah, you're holding it up. Yeah. See, we're both holding our, see, I'm here feeling it in my arm too, because we're holding it up so we can show you. But yeah, typically you do the best thing to do. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo. Oh, it's so strange on my left hand.
My left hand, I'm a lefty, so. But yeah. Think
Shout out
about
to
what
lefties. If left is right, crochet. Hello.
Hi, Sandy. And see, you know how, see what I'm doing now? I'm just kind of sitting with my arm. This I do as a habit. When I sit and I'm crocheting or I'm sitting on the couch, I tend to do this as a habit where I do this.
Is that your fidget?
It's my fidget. It is my fidget.
Minnie Gray says, what if you can't bend your thumbs, like for any of these stretches?
If you, if you can't bend a thumb, then that's actually, if it's something that's new that just happened, that's something you want to talk to your MD about. You should be able to bend your body parts unless something's going on. Yeah.
Okay. While we're doing our exercises, Diana says, pain in the base of my thumb, not finger. You already mentioned this a little bit, but you can continue.
Yeah. Pain in the base of your thumb, not fingers, right here, right? Mm-hmm. And we were talking about this a little while ago, and we were talking about the massages. This can happen on this side because of the way you're holding the hook when you're crocheting, because we're holding on to it and digging, that hook's digging in there. And a way to help it is do the circular massage in that area. And that'll help it out quite a bit.
Okay, we have
same thing, persistent. If it's persistent, then you're going to want to check anything out with the MD.
Patty says, what about shaking your hands downward? It helps me. Are you talking like this?
Oh, yes. Think about this. So years ago when I went to the PT, when I were talking about that earlier in this podcast, when I went to PT, some of the things that they would do for me, because my shoulder was just so banged up, what they would do is I used to not have arms on my chair because they wanted me to be able to dangle my arm down. So, and what it does, and just like you're talking about when you're shaking your hand like that, what that does is it helps release some of the pressure and tension that are on those nerves. And so I'll do that, and that passive exercise I showed you earlier, where I wake up in the morning and throw my arm back behind me like that.
Yeah.
That's passive. That's what you're talking about here, is you're not doing anything. You're not forcing anything. All you're doing is letting gravity do the work of allowing that. I mean, I feel it now, just letting my arm dangle right here. I'm feeling the arm stretch out a little bit. I'm feeling my numbness and tingling in my finger where it's starting to get the blood flow back in there. Absolutely. Be careful of doing too much. You can hurt your wrist, right? But,
yeah.
Too fast. But yeah, absolutely. Because what that does is encourage blood flow. Very good.
So we're probably going to wrap this up. So if anybody, you have any more questions right now, remember, put 3 question marks in front of your question and ask it now. And I'm going to talk about what's going on next week. Next week, I want to have for you guys, a game show. If you notice this week, I didn't give anything away because I might have been gambling on my YouTube channel and didn't realize it. So instead of like getting donations and having a chance to win, next week, maybe I'm just going to ask some questions, no donations needed, and I'm going to have a giveaway. I bought this cool, excuse my armpits. I want you guys to see this. This is going to be the wheel.
Oh, it finally came, huh?
It finally came. I'm probably going to be losing some money next week, but I don't care. This is so fun. I'm so appreciative of you guys always watching my channel. So I'm going to be giving away some cool things, enough things to at least fill up this whole spinny thing. I'm going to ask some questions. You get it right, get a chance to spin, and whatever it lands on, you guys are going to win. All right, well, I was chatting. Let's see if anybody asks any questions. Oh, we got a question from Carrie. How often should I rest from crushing it when I have carpal tunnel syndrome?
How often should you rest? As much as your body tells you. It
Mhm.
sounds like a stupid answer, but it's really the truth. Your body's going to tell you when it's time to rest. When you start getting an increase in pain or an increase in numbness and tingling, it's time to stop or at least slow down a little bit. And we talked about earlier, it's everybody's unique. If things change to where you're feeling uncomfortable, again, like we talked at the beginning, I've said it a couple of times, anything that changes that's abnormal that you're really concerned about, you'd want to seek out medical advice. Like I say, this stuff that I'm sharing is my experiences and my opinions for you guys. But yeah, your body's going to tell you. Just like last night when I was sitting too long, I was crocheting, I was like, okay, it's time to stop. There is no magic bullet, but if you had to say, I'm going to rest every 30 minutes or every 1 hour, which is appropriate, really. If you look at like Dr. Berg's channel, I go to his channel, Dr. Barry, that's some of the things that they'd recommend, stopping for at least once an hour to at least move the fingers around.
Yeah. All right. Michelle says, I am fixing to have it are you from Pennsylvania? Fixing to have a rotor cuff surgery. That's something us country people say fixing to have.
Yeah.
Any tips for pre-surgery non-hook hand?
Wow, that's a tough one. What are they going? They're going to do rotator cuff.
Yeah.
So what are you looking for pre and post surgery? You're looking for tips on what to manage. At this point, if they're looking at you doing rotator cuff surgery, you're probably having a lot of pain, and they're managing your pain chronically at this point prior to the surgery. So one of the things that you might want to do is just talk with them prior to going in to seeing what they are looking at and making sure that they understand that part of your mantra is that you do sit and crochet and understanding what's going to happen on the other side of it. Some things may change post-surgery as far as what your limitations are. So those are great questions to ask. Like I shared at the beginning of my conversation, pre and post for me for my shoulder was I used to be able to play golf and now I'm limited in that activity. Some of those things may change, and those are great questions to ask, is what are going to be my limitations, and letting them know what you want to do. Even if it's your non-hook hand, you're still going to have limitations if you're going to have maybe some not going to be able to lift weight on that side for a while. So you want to ask those kinds of questions before you get in there. And whether it's to the nurse or the MD, they're going to be able to give you that information.
Okay. This is just comments. Patty says, it's been a pleasure talking, ladies. Let's do this more. Have a blessed day. You have a blessed day also. And another one, I don't know how should I say this name? Littery? Well, whatever she said, her name is, I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. Will we be able to see this video later? I know I won't remember all the valuable information. Yes, this video will be available for replay, and every single tip that she's given us, Sheila has given us a list of videos to follow up on. I'm not the expert. She's a nurse. She's not the expert. What's your disclaimer you always say?
I'm a nurse, but I'm not a medical doctor. So the things that I'm sharing are like information that I have as far as general tips that I've used for my personal experience.
Yes, all her tips will be in videos down below. Let's see what else we got. Heather says for the giveaway, will people from Canada qualify? Everybody from around the world, I am going to blow my money on shipping just for you guys. I love it. And I began being smart about my giveaways. I no longer buy the items. I try to use my Amazon Prime. So therefore, now I just show the picture of the item that I'm going to be giving away. And therefore, Amazon Prime, I pay for that. So they do the shipping. Let's see. All right. That's pretty much it. Sheila, thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm glad you're a chatty person. You weren't too stressed. You were ready for this. I'm always nervous.
I am a chatty person. I told you it would be fine. We'd have lots to talk about.
So everybody, I will see you all on the very next live stream next week. I still don't know how the whole crochet game show is going to work, but it's going to happen. You guys will have an option to win stuff. Don't worry about it. But bye. Tell them
Bye,
bye.
everyone.